Welcome back. Today, a real action plan for real life. We're going to show you how you can save $1,000, even when that seems impossible. Financial planner Nicole Lapin says it can be done, and it's easier than you think. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm turning it over to you. You got a couple of tips.
Yep. Who doesn't want $1,000? I do. We all do. Think about the subscriptions that you're paying for. Are you really using that gym membership? What about all the magazines you get? Do you really read them? And your cable bill. Are you watching all those premium channels? So the first thing is try to cut the premium cable. Boom. There you go. What do you normally spend on premium channels? $1,200 every single year. And instead of that, think of an alternative. You can rent a movie online. There are a lot of unlimited subscription companies. So rent that movie for $8, let's say, a month. That gets you a check to that company for $96. Way less than what we were paying before. And that gives me, we love giving a check to myself, absolutely, of $1,104 whopping dollars.
As you promised, without a lot of pain.
I promise. Over $1,000.
The next way you can save $1,000 this year is to set up an auto transfer savings account. Please explain what that means.
So look, Dr. Oz, if you don't see it coming out of your paycheck, it doesn't feel as bad, right? And then there's no risk that you're going to spend that money anyway. So take a certain amount, put it in an interest-yielding savings account. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. You don't even have to think about it.
So how much money every week should we auto transfer into the savings account?
To make $1,000, $20 a week. That's like a night out with friends. It's like, you know, just a date night.
And I guess, I mean, you won't be spending it as much because you don't have a card to spend against it. But if you think of it that way, you also have to be able to make interest that makes up for the fact you're not spending the money. So how do you find the bank that gives you the best interest rate for that savings?
You know, it's nice to have a community bank. They know your name. That's all good. But typically, the bigger banks give you better interest rates. And the online banks, I mean, seriously, do you really need the candies at the banks? Yeah. Go online and you will get the best rates possible.
They're not paying branch fees, so they can probably pass it on to you. In theory.
Absolutely.
In theory. All right. You can also save $1,000 pretty quickly by stop charging the small stuff. Now, I want you to walk people through this because people always underestimate how important that small little expenditure really is.
Yeah, so the small stuff causes big problems. So let's talk about a typical purchase at a department store. Okay. Some lipstick. I know that's your color, Dr. Oz.
It is my color.
It's $10, right? Yep. If you don't pay that off after late fees and interest rate charges 1 month, that $10 lipstick costs $11.50. And then let's say you keep procrastinating, life happens, I get it. That $10 lipstick, after 6 months, costs $116. This is crazy talk. Then after 1 year, if you continue to not pay, if you continue to kick it down the road, that $10 lipstick costs $320. And then after 3 years, the $10 lipstick costs $1,290.
I gotta say, we spend $10 for a cup of coffee these days.
Yeah.
And we don't realize how fast it adds up. And this is how you save $1,000 and get out of debt fast. But that said, my next guest says it's impossible for her to save $1,000 because she's already $20,000 in credit card debt. So, dear, how do you run into $20,000 of in the whole credit card debt?
Well, being a single mom and my income not carrying me long enough, one credit card after another credit card just to survive. So saving anything is virtually impossible in my mind. So I don't know what to do.
When was the last time you saved money? You actually put money aside so you'd have it for later in your life?
Never.
Never?
No. I don't know how. I was never taught. So I don't know how to begin to save anything.
So how could you and everyone else who wants to make a big dent in that $20,000 hole that they've got, that's daunting.
It's totally daunting. I get it. There are 3 main steps, though, that perhaps I think you could do right away. Number 1, prioritize to pulverize. So not all debt is created equal. If you have a little bit of money and you're putting it toward that debt, like you're saving with some of those tips we just told you about, start with the credit cards first. That's the highest interest rate, and that's going to snowball the fastest. Yeah. Okay, the second step is come up with a schedule. Look, if you don't stick to a schedule, it's like a regular diet, you're only hurting yourself. Think of something that's manageable, but not too comfy cozy. I get it, debt is not comfy cozy, and you really got to nip it in the bud. The third suggestion is to smush it all together. Have you ever heard of a balance transfer?
No, ma'am.
So this is where you take all those credit cards and put them all together into one credit card. The thing you should be mindful of is that that is a higher interest rate. So it's all together, but you have to be ready to pay that off in 1 year or that interest rate skyrockets.
I think it's small things done right every day. And the fact that you said something very important to me, you said I was never taught how to do it. That's the big problem we face in America. Most people think money's their enemy, right? They think money owns them.
Yes.
And most of us should realize that if money can buy something that's not, not something that we can ever get again, like the health of a child or our time, then we should never trade. We should control our destiny, and that's yours to do.
Thank you.
So these little tips will come in handy, but you got to add them all together to get those thousands of dollars every year to keep you ahead.
Thank you.
And you're not alone. Nobody learned this stuff in school.
When we come back, Nicole's taking your most burning money questions that you've been too afraid to ask. Stay here. Next, Nicole is back with the best advice you've ever heard. She's got the answer to all your financial concerns. Your most pressing money questions answered. Find out what she has to say.
You don't want more debt than
I don't
you
want
already
more
have.
debt than I already have.
That's right.
Next. We're back with Nicole Lapin, and she's tackling your most burning money questions that you've been too afraid to ask, at least until now. So who's got questions? How convenient. Go, take it away.
How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Take it away.
I just want to know what's the right way for me to negotiate a raise with my boss without her saying no?
That is an
It's a
awesome
woman.
question. And it's not a sorority if it's a woman. She's not going to be easier on you just because she's a woman. 7% of women negotiate their salary. 57% of men negotiate their salary. So when you're going in to speak with your boss, remember that salary isn't the only form of compensation. Think about the overall compensation package. So maybe if you're a mom, you ask for a day working from home. You ask for a day to leave early. You ask for a more robust healthcare package. You ask for a free parking pass. Sometimes that stuff is more valuable than a bump in base salary.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that way you'll get something out of it, one way or the other. All right. Go ahead. Take it away.
Hi. Hi. Is that a deal breaker in a relationship?
Absolutely. I have spoken to so many men and women who start relationships and see that their partner, their potential partner, has a boatload of debt. They're like, listen, I have my financial life together, I'm out. Here's the thing, when we're in the dating world, we have more superficial breakers than money. Hair color, height, weight. I mean, debt should be one of them.
Thank you.
Why wouldn't it be a deal breaker? It would be a problem for me.
It would be a problem for me too, yeah.
Because you're taking on that debt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that affects your life.
You were speaking to us earlier. Is that a problem for you?
I don't want anyone.
What's it?
You don't want more debt than
I don't
you
want
already
more
have.
debt than I already have.
That's right.
Sorry. It's a deal
Amen.
breaker.
You know, this country was created in the belief that we all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Which happiness is health to me.
Right.
You can't do those things if you don't have money on your side. It's one of the biggest challenges we have in America.
Right.
And I don't think you can compromise that at all. I think it has to be a deal breaker in a relationship. One of the two parties has got to get that part right. You know, add and subtract otherwise, but the total has to still be in a place where you're happy and healthy.
I agree.
And money is one of the #1 causes of divorce. Not talking about it.
Okay. One last question. Go ahead.
If I can't pay off my bills, how can I ask for help?
You know, asking for help is nothing to be bashful about. There is no shame in asking for help. So there are a couple of places that you can look, but you want to look for a reputable organization. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling is one you can start with. There are some sketchy ones, so you don't want to get yourself in more problems than you already have, but you should definitely look for help, and they can help you set up a timetable to set up your financial life.
Nicole, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got good news for you. Everyone in today's audience is going home with Nicole's book. It is called Rich and Rhymes with Itch. Because I can't say the other part. We'll be right back.